Okay, so I'm scrapping the last video I made, and I did upload because I started feeling like the first one I made was a little all over the place, and I needed to explain myself more about what has gone down this past weekend at Pocono because a lot of shit went down. I'm not going to talk about New Hampshire because that was just a shit show in itself, and New Hampshire's just boring as shit. And all you need to know is, from what I recall, Xfinity, Justin Allgaier won, and Christopher Bell won, and that's about it. Excuse my face, I'm like breaking out completely, and I am not doing well, mentally. So, excuse the mess behind me. Anyway, moving on. I'm just gonna talk about Pocono because that's the only thing that we should be talking about here. So, for starters, truck race was fucking boring. Not much went on, really. It was just a Toyota fest that day, which is usually the case on this track for like any series, except for Xfinity. Chandler Smith won that race. It was his first win of the season, and he hasn't won really since Phoenix last year in November. So moving on to the Xfinity race. Xfinity race was insane. The main topic of issue though was like turn 3. Everyone was like spinning out, having just issues, and there's been a few instances where people have hit the wall going like near the entrance of pit road, where they extended that wall because there was issues in the past with wrecking in the pit road. So Blaney wrecked, had his issue coming off of turn 3, but his car was garbage pretty much all day. There was a big wreck with the 27 car and multiple other cars coming off of turn 3, and but I just want to give big props to the safety crew for NASCAR, the AMR safety team, because they responded real quick, talked Burton through like what they were doing, how to get the car back up and over, get him out, and he was good. So the safety of these cars have come a long way. Sorry, I have a nicotine addiction. But he's good. He's all good. That was a really hard hit. He was flipped upside down. But the topic of that race was the battle near the end of that race with Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson. I think two of the better cars that day. Junior Motorsports is no doubt has been dominant all season long. Noah Gragson has now won 3 races. Justin Allgaier has won 3 races. Josh Berry has won 2. So that's 8 races right there, just within the JRM camp. The third win for Noah came at Pocono, but the last like 30 laps or so, or like even the last 10 laps, Ty and Noah were battling like I've never seen a battle before. This is how young drivers should be battling, how drivers today should be battling for wins. That was like the best battle I saw all weekend. Those two beat it out like they're like the future of our sport. They are. These two are going to be future cup stars. Guarantee. And I know people give them a lot of, a crap for the way they drive, but that's racing. Like, how are we going to dismiss and be angry about aggressive, hard, beating and banging racing and battling for the win? When did that become an issue and become like a topic of discussion? Why is that a problem? And why are people angry about it? Like, they're happy that their driver is like aggressive and whatnot, but when it comes to other other people are like, you're way too aggressive and blah blah blah, and they want personality and they get it and they complain about it. So there's that. But anyway, these two are very aggressive drivers. Love it. Reminds me of like some old school racing, which we need more of in this sport. And those two are bringing it. I got this actually from Walmart. There's two others that I got. Well, there was a Chase Elliott one, surprisingly, and just one that says NASCAR Racing with their logo on it. But those two put on a show, and Noah came and fought for that win. Like, it came down to mere like feet of who won that race. Ty Gibbs came like runner up, but those two put on a show, and that's what we want. And Noah did his famous like celebration, climb the fence, do his burnouts. They taped the American flag on his windshield, did his burnouts, which I love. But overall, Kennedy, 10 out of 10. Now Cup, on the other hand, was a decent race. Like, yeah, there was some drama involved with Chastain and Hamlin, which I don't think will ever go away. And because I think that's just a new rivalry that's going to just last for as long as they are racing around each other. So, which I don't oppose to, because we kind of need that in our sport, because we don't really have many rivalries going on at the moment within the cup, at the cup level. So right now it's just Chastain versus everybody. Like, Denny supposedly did a payback towards Chastain, wrecked Chastain because Chastain went up into the wall and wrecked himself. But Denny Hamlin was, according to Chase, was very nice about the whole thing and gave him room. He had enough track, and he just put himself into the wall and got aggressive and still committed to whatever he was doing. And wrecked, and that was the end of that. Toyotas, again, looked very strong that day. And it wasn't new because it's Pocono, and normally Ford or Toyota was going to just flat down it. And with Ford at a disadvantage with speed and whatever they got going on, they were like nowhere to be found. God, I hate the noise coming from my bathroom. Ugh. Anyway, the two like guys that stood out the most was Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, who qualified first and second, which they happened to finish first, second, and then Chase, who started third, finished third. And surprisingly, for someone who's had bad luck on the last two tracks we've been on, like stat wise and performance wise, he's gotten top 5 finishes both races. Like, it was like crazy how this 9 team has fired off as of late in the last like month or so. Like, they had like a handful of like a few like bad races, but like nothing like really extreme has happened to this team except for like stupid damage clock policy bullshit during the Coke 600, which needs to go away completely, because you should be able to work on your car and come back. So that's just me. Regardless of who the driver is, just this time clock needs to go away because whatever they were fixing could have been fixed within like minutes, but NASCAR has their stupid policy issues, and that's something I would change personally. So my hat just hurting my head. How was I getting that? Oh yeah. So Denny Hamlin ended up winning the race from the pole. Kyle Busch finished second, and we all know how he hates to finish second, but it happens. And there was like an awkward exchange, like, I wouldn't say awkward, but a weird vibe between him and Joe Gibbs after the race, while he like came by, like squeezed his arm and walked away. It just seemed off, because Kyle Busch's future is like up in the air, because his major sponsor with M&M's, like the Mars company is like jumping ship from NASCAR completely. Joe Gibbs and Kyle Busch after this season. So they have a big gap to fill sponsor wise, and they're having super hard time to find that gap to fill. Because marketing Kyle Busch, you would think would be easy because he's a two-time champ, 60 wins, 102 wins in the Xfinity Series, over like I have a shitload of wins in the Truck Series, and you would think he would be marketable to a bunch of these companies out there. But in my opinion, I just feel like it has a lot to do with the way he comes off, with his attitude and shit like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I just feel like he's at a disadvantage because of his personality. And M&M's and the Mars company have been very patient with this man for who knows how, like for as long as they've been on his car, and sponsoring him. Like, props to them for being able to wrangle this guy, because I don't know if any other sponsor would be able to. Like, don't get me wrong, he has like pedigree, he has like Interstate Batteries, like several little like sponsors, but his major sponsor has been M&M's for like over a decade. Like, since he left HMS, he went to JGR, and since then it's been 13 something years that he's had M&M's on his car. And it's almost like with Jimmy Johnson losing Lowe's, it was like a big hit to that team, and they're like trying to figure out what major sponsor's gonna be on this car. And now they have Ally on the 48, and they've been stuck around since Jimmy left. Like, so I hope JGR figures it out for Kyle Busch, because as much as I strongly dislike the guy, the sport needs guys like him, because he's like one of a kind talent that you will never find again. Like, since Jimmy Johnson, there's no one better on track besides Kyle Busch, like talent wise. Like, the guy's a wheelman, like, for sure. As much as you want to hate the dude for his personality and how he reacts to things and shit like that, the sport thrives off of him. People watch because of him. Even though I hate to admit that, that's just the plain hard facts of this sport and the fan base that he has and the NASCAR has. So whether if they don't re-sign him at JGR, that's a big hit to JGR and Toyota as a whole, because yeah, you have Denny Hamlin over there, you have Martin Truex and Bell, but what have they, like, Denny Hamlin is one of the most successful JGR drivers behind Kyle Busch without a championship. Like, the guy has won pretty much almost every crown jewel like big race there is. Daytona 500, the throwback race of Darlington, like Coke 600 now, and just all these big fucking races he's won. Like, who else can say they've won the Daytona 500 like 3 times? Like, who can say that and not be a champion still? Like, for as long as he's been in the sport, he's not a champion. He's almost like Mark Martin in a way. I'm not saying that as an insult, but it's actually a compliment, because Mark Martin was badass. But Martin Truex is like kind of teetering till to the end of his career. Like, yeah, he's coming back next season, but I feel like that's gonna be the end of his career after that. And Bell is just starting in his career as like this fresh young face, but he's been in the Cup Series for a handful of years now, and only has 2 wins at he's won at Daytona the Daytona road course, and just recently New Hampshire. That's only two I can really think of, and he hasn't really done much since. Like he was, super successful in Xfinity, but these young guys that come in are like trying to fire off and make a name for themselves, but it's just so hard when you got guys like Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin, like all these veterans are still within the sport who are slowly going to be going away within the next handful of years. Because Kevin Harvick is teetering at the end of his career. There's just no doubt. It's just pointing in that direction. It's like a Jimmy Johnson-esque kind of way for Kevin Harvick. Kurt Busch is near the end of his career. After next season, he's probably going to retire. Which leads me into Kurt Busch in missing Pocono this past weekend because of the hit he took in qualifying in turn 3 of all places, and he had concussion like symptoms. I can't speak right now. So he has not been cleared to come back and race. So guess who they call up? And fellow Monster sponsored driver Ty Gibbs, the future superstar of the sport. And I feel like Ty Gibbs did what he came to do in a situation like that. He came, ran all laps, stayed out of trouble, didn't make any problems, and finished in almost the top 15. Like he was a spot away from being in the top 15, which is very impressive for Pocono in a car he's never driven before and wearing someone else's fire suit, which drives me nuts how people don't understand how that works. But either way, he did a damn good job. Whether people like him or not, the kid is talented. He's going to make it to the Cup Series within the next year or two. How plans fall. And news again today, Kurt is still not cleared, so he's not going to be racing at Indy. Ty Gibbs will be in the car again for this, and we all know how good Ty Gibbs has been on road courses, so we'll see how he does when he's fully in the car for like practice, qualifying, whatever. We'll see how like he runs when it's like he puts a full weekend together, get that full experience of how practice works, qualifying works within the Cup Series, because he's new to these next gen cars. Pocono was literally the first time he stepped into one of these cars, so he did a damn good job in doing what he was supposed to do, just get through the race and represent Monster and that team. So props to him for that. So this is where the kicker comes in. First and second place finishers. Denny Hamlin won from the pole. Kyle Busch finished second. He hates finishing second. But there's more of a punch to the gut for these two. These two have had very sucky seasons. Denny Hamlin has won 2 races this season, but other than that, he has not been doing well. Race-wise or performance-wise. And finish-wise, he's either been wrecked out, having mechanical issues, tire issues, whatever, penalties on pit road, whatever it may be. Kyle Busch has been wrecking out, finishing outside the top 20, and top 10, whatever. I don't know what's going on with that team. It's just blowing my mind how bad these two are performing. So these two, coming from the same camp, JGR, both got DQ'd after post-race inspection. 2 hours after this race ended, news came out, and I thought it was a joke. Like, I went on social media and saw, like, oh, first and second place got DQ'd, so Chase Elliott is declared the winner. Like, I was like, wait, hold the brakes. What? This has to be a joke. But then I go through more and see all these reliable sources, like solid hardcore sources, that it was true. Like even NASCAR said it, and all these, and it blew my mind. Like, they both had the same issue. They came out like there was an extra piece of like vinyl or tape, whatever, like on the front fascia of the car, like the bumper of the car, that affects the aero, and people don't seem to understand that. They're like, oh, it's just a piece of tape, so why did they do that? And like, it's more people, like, the smallest little things that they do to a car can affect a car's handling and speed dramatically, and they don't seem to understand that. Mechanics, people, the people on the internet think they're like mechanics now and understand how cars work, like race cars and these next gen cars work. They don't. No matter how many times it's explained, they just feel like, oh, it's NASCAR is rigged. They just want the golden boy to win. That golden boy shit needs to stop. If he was the golden boy and if NASCAR was actually fucking rigged, wouldn't you think Chase Elliott would have, I don't know, 10 times the more wins that he has now since he started in Cup? Wouldn't he have like 3 or 4 championships by now? Wouldn't Dale Jr. have a Cup championship and a handful more wins in the record books? Like, how stupid does this fan, like, delusional does this fan base have to be? Like, they actually firmly believe what's coming out of their mouths and what they're thinking. It drives me nuts how much they firmly believe this shit. Like, he's like, oh, Chase is the golden boy. NASCAR's always helping him out and handing him wins. I'm like, how exactly is this handing him a win? In Chase's mind, he crossed the line third. If you saw the video he put out, like a video of like an interview he did not earn that win on track. He does not, no driver wants to win in that manner. He doesn't want to win because of someone's misfortune and based off a technicality. And he even said the classiest thing and professional thing that comes out of a driver's mouth is the driver who won that race originally can keep that trophy if he wants to, because I basically don't want it because I didn't earn it, is basically what he got at. Because he says, I'm not celebrating this win because it's not, and I will see it as me finishing third, because he was lucky to finish third at Pocono because that's his best finish at Pocono. And now that he was credited the win, his streak of top 5 finishes, or top 2 finishes, went to 5 straight. Like every other race, he's won 3 out of the last 5 races. 3 out of the last 5 races. Runner-up at Road America and New Hampshire. New Hampshire is statistically one of his worst tracks. So is Pocono. And the fact this team is firing off right now speaks volumes of how hard this team works. And we are going to into a road course at Indy. And he ran fairly well last year and finished top 5. So, even without this win, Chase's points lead went to over 100 points over Chastain, who wrecked out of that race in Pocono because of Hamlin. Thank you, Hamlin. From all of us in the fan base, thank you, Hamlin. And your savageness. Regardless, Chase explained that originally they were gonna sell like win t-shirts, posters, and diecast for this win, but it came out yesterday from his store, like online store, that they weren't going to produce any of it because of what I just explained. I don't think it's in good nature or at all, or good taste to produce product a win that Chase didn't officially earn or deserve on track. And all of his fan base should understand that. We don't celebrate this win because it's not a win in our eyes. We don't enjoy winning this way. He doesn't enjoy winning this way. No driver does. And we respect Chase's online store for pulling back on the pre-orders and whatever of like the win t-shirts, diecasts, whatever, because it would have been poor taste to display a win that he didn't earn on track, and he knows in his head that he leaves that race finishing third. That's his mindset, and this is why I'm a fan of his, and so many, because he is respectful, classy, and professional, and some people don't understand and still shit on him for that. And trophy wise, he doesn't want the trophy, people. And people are making jokes that I know I made the joke too about Denny Hamlin should just FedEx it to Chase and be done with it, or I just say to Hendrick, because I think it's up to Hendrick more importantly than Chase to get that trophy. But in a way, I feel like Denny should keep it, because he did not technically, but like he did cross the line first, but he had an illegal car. The team got caught. They had this time clock to appeal. Joe Gibbs did not appeal it because they know they got caught. They know they cheated. And NASCAR went full ham on penalties this week with like Front Row Motorsports and with Joe Gibbs, Front Row Motorsports, and like Penny GMS. They all got hit hard with penalties, like L1 or L2 penalties, and those are like huge hits to these teams. But man, NASCAR is not giving any fucks right now. Like, they're going after everybody. Like, you better watch it and keep those cars legal. And people are like, but they should also check Chase's car because he could have been cheating too. I'm like, they checked his car to the level where third place needed to be checked. In my opinion, it was a little distasteful to just have Chase up and go after he passed inspection and go back home and go back in his business. I feel like after the first and second place cars got their little teardowns of inspection done to officially confirm that those two are good, that he could move on and go about his day knowing that he officially finished third or he was declared the winner. Because I feel like it sucks in a way for Chase's sponsors to not get the exposure of like Victory Lane or whatever, but in a way I kind of get it, but it's painful because Denny Hamlin went through all this photographs for his sponsors. His daughter was holding the checker flag, crying and was so happy, and then like, you can't take away those memories. And I saw those pictures. They're like so cute and adorable, and it's hard, but you can't take those memories away from a child, especially of Taylor's age, because she's freaking adorable. That kid has a personality in itself, more than some of the drivers in the field. But can't take that away from her or Denny, because those pictures are priceless. And win or not, those are just memories that you cherish forever with your kids. So Chase was credited the win. He's not celebrating it anyway. He's just moving forward and is just always looking for, has been saying nonstop how he's still looking for improvement within his team in all aspects, like pit crew, driver, like handling wise, like everything. Because he feels like his team could be so much better than it actually is right now. Because they're firing on all cylinders, but he feels like they can do a lot better. Which I like the fire in his head, like that competitive spirit. It's like there's a different side of Chase I haven't seen before, where it's like we're in a part of his career like he has not won more than like 2 races in the regular season. It's always been like in the span of the entire season, where it's been like the last time he won more than 2, not like more than 4 races was his championship year, which was he won 5. He's at 4 right now. He can win at least 2 more, or even 3. You never know, depending on how good this team is actually going to be for the rest of the season, because we still got 5 more races until the regular season ends, and he's on track to be the regular season champion, and he's already at 4 wins on top of everyone else's 2 or 1. There's 4 other drivers who have 2 wins, as I recall. So he's at 40 playoff points right now, and has been still leading in points since the first Atlanta race. Excuse me. I am so sorry. So, but on the HMS topic, I'm like, what the fuck is happening with William Byron and what's happening with Alex Bowman? They've been sucky so hard for the longest time. I just don't know if they're ever going to fucking recover. I don't know if they're going to make it through the playoffs. I don't know what's happening. That team needs to get it together. Those teams and their crews need to get it together, because it's driving me nuts seeing Bowman struggle this much. Driving me nuts. But moving on. And drivers who have yet to win this season and still in the playoff hunt, or just within above the bubble, is Truex and Blaney. Blaney's the top driver without points, right? Like, not without points, without a win this season. And he still has like over 100 something points to the good, while Martin Truex has like 80 something. So it's a good possibility Blaney could miss it. And people are like getting all butthurt over like the point system. Like, there's nothing wrong with the point system. Yes, he's like top 5 and like top 3 in points in the regular season, but that's the regular season. If he's not scoring wins, he's not scoring playoff points, then he can't get into a playoff if he's not going to be able to win. Because anything this season has showed us, anything can happen. Anyone can win at this rate. But lately it's been like repeat winners, except for last week. It was like a first time winner of the season, not like a first cup winner. So in 5 races, you never know what's going to happen. But I feel like Blaney needs to win. But with this pattern lately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Like, the speed and pace of Penske is just not there. Pocono, Logano was MIA all fucking day. He was nowhere near like the top 10. He finished like top 20. Cindric spun out near the beginning of the race, and Blaney had like all his issues and wrecked out. So I don't know what's going over at Penske. I don't know what's going over at JGR. I don't know what's going on in any of these teams. But right now, HMS is the team we're looking at to beat for the championship, most likely, because no one else is really stepping up to be consistent enough to look like championship favorites, except right now Chase. I'm not being biased or anything. It's just he's been outperforming literally everybody on track the last 5 races and pretty much all season. Yes, you can say Chastain, but he's gonna have an issue in the playoffs. Guarantee. First round is gonna be rough for him. And the next 5 races with Denny Hamlin looking for revenge still, he's gonna have a rough time. So there's really, to me, no other contender in the playoffs that will be like come rising from the ashes like a phoenix, and heading into Phoenix. So with the way it's looking, Chase looks like he's gonna win like the regular season championship. He'll get through the first, second round probably with ease, but we'll see how it goes. He has more weeks to gain more playoff points. Hopefully another win next week or this weekend at Indy. he can win at Watkins Glen. That's coming up. And with Indy this weekend, there's gonna be Xfinity, Cup, and IndyCar, all in within within 2 days of the Saturday and Sunday. It's gonna be freaking wild. So we're gonna have our reunite with Jimmy Johnson at that track. It's gonna be amazing. So the schedule as it stands. Indy Road Course, then Michigan, Richmond, Watkins Glen, and then season finale at Daytona, of course, where anything is going to happen. And it's going to be a shit show because so many people are trying to scratch and claw their way into the playoffs. So, in the round of 16, of course, going to be Darlington, Kansas, Bristol. And our best bet to win in that round is Bristol. Kansas has been so-so. Last time we went to Kansas, we had an issue. Darlington, I don't remember where we finished in Darlington the last time we went there. Chase finished top 5 in that race, so we're good there. And got a few stage points, but other than that, like I was saying, anything can happen in the next 5 races. This season's been super unpredictable, so anything can happen. So I just want to get that off my chest because I got a lot going on, and if I didn't make this video, it wasn't going to happen because this last couple of weeks have been a little rough for me, mentally and emotionally. Not entirely sure why. It's just a lot going on right now. So we'll get through to Indy and see how that goes, and whatever news that comes up throughout the week, I'll try to make a video on it, but there's no guarantees because of my work schedule. I just started my work week this morning because they changed my schedule from Wednesday to Sunday. So I'm still trying to prove myself outside as a switcher, so it's some growing pains, and I have a scratch on my leg. I don't know where that came from, but and my freaking manager's leaving me at the end of August, and I'm gonna be very, very upset. My favorite manager that I've worked with for like almost 3 years. It's very upsetting. But with the amount of experience he has, he deserves nothing but the best wherever he goes. Like, I know where he's going. It's just the next location he goes to, I hope he kicks ass, takes names, and eventually I want to get over to where he is, because from what I hear, Tennessee is a great state. Lower cost of living out there. I could get paid more, but as of right now, I'm good where I am. I'm sick of the fucking heat, because right now it's 1,000,000 degrees, and we're in the middle of monsoon season, and it's fucking muggy as hell. And right now we sit at 97 degrees outside. And the highest it's gonna get this week is 100, so we're in the cooler side of things. So, but either way, enough rambling. I hope you enjoyed the weekend of racing that we all endured and the drama that unfolded with it. So I got working 12 hours, so see what I'll be able to do in the next handful of hours. I've been struggling, so I've just been watching Netflix for the last 2 fucking days. I don't know. But yeah, hope everyone is having a good week so far, and we're not killing each other over who likes who, driver wise, and shitting on each other. So I'll upload this and I'll see you guys later.